Red Harlow is the protagonist of the original Red Dead game, Red Dead Revolver. However, I think it's suffice to say that Red Dead Revolver, in how we play it, is not quite canon in Red Dead Redemption's universe. However, that's not to say that the events didn't happen altogether, as in both Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2, Red Harlow is mentioned in passing, usually at campfires. So we know that in the Red Dead Redemption universe, Red Harlow does exist, so I guess it's up to us to figure out what is canon and what is not. As there's definitely a lot about Red Dead Revolver that would not work in the Red Dead Redemption universe, such as the loud and proud mystical elements that the game seems to have. While Red Dead Redemption also has a little bit of a mystical side if you care to explore it, I don't think it's quite this out there. Meaning that while the events of Red Dead Revolver and the story of Red Dead Redemption's 2 games occur in different universes, there is a little bit of an overlap where Red Harlow exists in the Red Dead Redemption universe to some capacity. In Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2, you can have several encounters which reference directly Red Harlow by name. Here are a couple of them.
This country used to be built of sterner stuff than it is today. Only 30 years back, there was men here in these parts would stand up to authority.
Very good, very good.
You heard of that Red Harlow fella? He was one of those men. Stood up to every man who blocked his path, Mexican army included. Nearly cost him his life, but he did.
Unglaublich.
You never know who's listening out there, do you?
You a bounty hunter, mister?
I have been. Why?
No offense, I just know the type. I done some myself a couple years back. Like most things in life, it don't live up to the billing. And my brother, he's dead now, but he used to tell me stories about Red Harlow. Yep, you've probably heard of him. Legendary bounty hunter bringing the savage outlaws of the frontier to justice. Man who watched his parents get murdered in front of him as a boy, but who uses that pain to become a better man and ultimately to wreak his vengeance. I don't know. Bounty hunting never felt like that to me. Nothing heroic about riding for 3 days to turn in some low-down chicken thief. Nothing easy in this life.
Courtesy of the encounter in Red Dead Redemption 1, we know that Red Harlow was active, or at least in his prime, 30 years before the game, meaning that he was about at some point during the 1880s, which is actually the time frame given in Red Dead Revolver's synopsis. The time in which Red Harlow was about is canon, Red Harlow as a character is canon, and apparently his skills are canon.
Used to be, best shots in the country would head to Brimstone. Had a famous Brimstone quick draw competition. They still talk about the time Red Harlow beat old Mr. Kelly.
Yes, yes, yes.
Said he'd drive a nail into a board at 300 feet.
Oh, yes, oh, yes.
It also appears as if some variety of Red Harlow's story is also canon, considering there's a mention of him defeating Mr. Kelly in a quick draw match in Brimstone, which was a part of a quick draw tournament which is also mentioned. Along with Red, campfire stories can also sometimes mention his father, Annie, Jack, Shadow Wolf, Diego, Darren, Mr. Black, Bab Bessie, and obviously Mr. Kelly, as we've already gone over. So I'd imagine the entirety of Red Dead Revolver is somehow canon to Red Dead Redemption, while the game itself taking place in a separate universe, meaning things like the mystical elements and stuff did not happen as far as Red Dead Redemption is concerned. The only reason I even fathom what's canon and what's not is because Rockstar has stated that Red Dead Revolver and Red Dead Redemption do not take place in the same game universe, meaning that some bits are canon to Red Dead Redemption and other bits just aren't. So let's just assume, barring certain elements, certain little details, Red Dead Revolver is for the most part canon. From the murder of his parents, to his life as a bounty hunter, to his time assisting the town of Brimstone, to his pursuit of General Diego, and the Brimstone tournament, all the way to his final showdown with Griffin. And afterwards where he goes is a complete mystery. Red Harlow never shows up again, he just vanishes and becomes a legend. The legend that we hear about in Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Redemption. So what became of him after the events of Red Dead Revolver are completely unknown. Now in the Legends and Killers DLC for Red Dead Redemption, Red is one of the 8 playable Revolver characters that you can use in multiplayer. This is technically not a canon appearance, so it means absolutely nothing.
You're looking at the Brimstone Quick Draw Champion.
However, it is entirely possible that Red Harlow continued to live his life the only way he knew how, as a bounty hunter, going from place to place as a means to avoid gaining any notoriety. Or maybe he gave up the bounty hunter lifestyle after Brimstone and went and settled down and lived a life peacefully. Or maybe he went and got himself killed somehow. Regardless of what happened to the man, in his wake he left behind a legend. If there is one thing I would say about the Red Dead Redemption universe, Red Harlow, is he probably looks slightly different because he seems to have the same scarring as John Marston, so we don't know where he is, we do not know what happened to him. Red Harlow is but a story told around campfires. Now there is a theory that somehow Uncle is Red Harlow, and I'm gonna shoot that down right away. Fuck off. He's not remotely similar to how we know Red Harlow and Red Dead Revolver, and he's not even the right age. Just because he said he used to be known as the one-shot kid does not mean anything. I think that's enough talking about Uncle. For all we know, in Red Dead Redemption's universe, Red Harlow is a myth. But that'd be boring, and games strive to not be boring, so let's assume that the stories in Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2 do in fact have some form of credence to them, we just don't get to see it. If there is one thing we can talk about, it's how far away from Red Dead Redemption's open world is Brimstone. Well, as this campfire encounter states,
Only 30 years back, there was men here in these parts would stand up to authority.
Very good, very good.
You heard of that Red Harlow fella? He was one of those men.
So as this encounter suggests, Red Harlow was active quite locally to these parts, which of course those parts being New Austin. So Brimstone might not be that far from New Austin at all. So maybe he's still nearby somewhere. I doubt it, but I think I've wasted enough of your time. So thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, share the channel with your friends and all that wonderful stuff. That would be really appreciated. And I guess I will see you all very soon with another video at some point.